So, well, first of all, do you have any advice for me for the next 90 days on what
Well, let's see if you're going to do it. Okay.
I'm going to do it.
I would say take 6 grams of carnosine a day, 6 grams of taurine a day, and 6 grams of carnitine a day.
Okay. For muscle repair.
Muscle repair, more also for soft tissue health, because if you're going to run an endurance event, you're going to stress out your soft tissue drastically. I would also start do an HCl test, which for your audience, you could just put HCl in the search engine of my website, strengthsensei.com, and there will be how to do the test at home. Okay, and then thing is, the odds that you're HCl deficient is about 98%. So just doing that with a plant-based protein, you have an advantage over, let's say, if you had a twin brother that want to run the race and he's not taking HCl, you're already at an advantage over him, assuming you're identical twins and same willpower, blah, blah, blah.
Okay. So it's worth testing even though it's a very small percentage.
Yeah, but probably the best medical doctor on muscle and performance and aging is Dr. Gabrielle Lyon out of New York. And I had her lecture for my students, but she showed a lot of data, and then she showed, for example, blood work from vegans, and it's like horrendous. You know, they're aging prematurely. So that's why I'm not so keen on. And then she's an MD, and that's all she does. She treats people, and the thing is, in her career, she studied under the greatest muscle protein synthesis expert. So she has a bias towards protein, but she says that, let's say you got carnivores, vegetarians, and vegans, and he says the health goes down. Okay, there's famous vegetarian runners that died of heart attacks. The people say, well, how did that happen, right? So I think that if you do close monitoring of your nutrient status, that's a safe way to do it.
Of my what status?
Of your mineral status, for example.
And I do that via hair test? Or?
No, that's not really valid. The best way, there's 2 simple, very easy tests to get done. Unfortunately, in the UK, you'll have to go private. But there's a place in Mayfair that does it. You test for red blood cell magnesium and red blood cell zinc. And again, those values are on my website, which ones you should have. But for example, if your zinc level is really low, it's extremely hard to maintain your immune system. It's also really hard to make testosterone, et cetera, et cetera. So for example, fertility rates are directly related to zinc stores. So when people test zinc and magnesium in the UK, they look for serum magnesium or zinc, but those values are only going to be dangerously low when you're going to die in about 2 hours from now. So a lot of people never get diagnosed with it. So people have come up with a test where it's called red blood cell magnesium test, red blood cell zinc. So that's where the minerals are stored in the body, in the red blood cells.
Okay, so I should be testing on this regularly, every few weeks.
I would say test.
Only have 3 months.
Test tomorrow.
Okay.
You could email me your results and I could tell you how often you need to test, right? It depends how bad you are. But by experience, 98% of the time, if you have a deficiency, testing every 4 weeks is plenty, if you do what I tell you to do.
Okay.
Right? But it is important. And, and zinc is involved in 88 chemical reactions in the body. Magnesium is over 300 chemical reactions in the body. And one of the things you need to do when you run marathons is to have a good Krebs cycle. And a lot of these enzymes limit your Krebs cycle, your ability to burn fat while you exercise. Okay. So that's why I would monitor that.
Okay. Any other advice for me? Because I've basically taken this challenge, so I'm going plant-based for 90 days. I'm swimming, I'm biking, I'm running a lot, as you can imagine, to train for this. I mean, I know I'm not, I know there's probably hours we could talk, but besides what you just told me, anything to think about when it comes to the training and the recovery?
One thing I would look at, so with your sport, you need to actually intake a lot of carbohydrates. Carbohydrates while you exercise.
I don't have to earn them. Well, maybe I'm pretty low body fat. So
you're low body fat, so and you're doing all that mileage, right? But if you don't restore your glycogen stores, you'll have a problem. But if you look at the research, you can train somebody for Ironman using protein and fats only. Okay, it's feasible. Dominic D'Agostino is probably the best experts in the world now. But so you're going plant-based. So what I would use is rice plant-based carbohydrate powders. One of the things I would use is a chemical called oligodextrin. It's natural. It's basically a rice carbohydrate, and I would make a 7% solution that I would drink while I compete and while I train. So what 7% is the ideal number, because if you use a great, it's not in one of those cases, more is better, because if you use more, then your body has to bring it back down to 7% anyway. So it's going to steal water from other parts of your body. So what you drink while you exercise can make a huge difference.
Okay.
Post-exercise, re-establishing your carbohydrates, because if you don't have enough carbohydrates, it's going to be hard to, when you get to that phase of training, when you do a lot of remote training. If you're doing really long, slow distance, it won't really matter. You could live off your fat, that's not an issue. But depending on, basically, the intensity of your training, so how fast you're running, will be limited by carbohydrate intake after a certain point. And again, I've got colleagues that will say, no, you could do it, but I'm answering because you're doing plant-based. But if you came to my office, that's not what I would tell you to do.